What'll you have? Pabst Blue Ribbon.
What'll you have?
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
What'll you have?
Pabst Blue Ribbon. Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
Smoother, smoother, smoother flavors, zest and sparkle, millions favor. Taste that smooth.
Welcome to Pabst Interview, Blue Ribbons, Red Zones. I am your host, KO, Kyle Wilson, and I'm joined, as always, by our commissioner, Chad Coffin. I'm not even going to let you talk yet, dude. We're going to let you sit there in silence for a little bit because we're going into week 5, Chad. That means last week was week 4. I played you in week 3, and we didn't have a podcast last week because you were sick. Air quotes for the podcast listeners. I don't know, man. You talked a big game. I know I lost that week 2 matchup to Elvon. It's turning out not to be a pretty bad loss. He's looking like a good team. Me and you came in. You were riding high after beating Travis. Travis, we'll talk about him. You were riding high. You can walk away while I keep talking. I just need you to know. I beat you so easily. I beat you so bad. How does it feel? You know what? You don't even need to answer. How does it feel? Because I know how it feels to lose that game. I had you panicking. I had you freaked out. You sold the rest of your future to this league to go get Jonathan Taylor just so that maybe you could beat me next time we face each other. I mean, come on, dude. Faked an injury or faked an illness so that you didn't have to talk about it last week. I wasn't going to let you off that easy. And now we're sitting here, me and you, 1 and 2, and I'm feeling great because if I'm sitting 2 behind the guy that I beat, that just means I'm going to take that number 1 eventually, baby. So you can keep riding that. You know, I'm happy. Jaden Daniels is back for you, man. I'm happy. You still got Brock Bowers and Emeka Egbuka scoring a bunch of points. It's great. Amon Ra, woo! I'm coming for you. I got my 3-headed running backs. They're coming. They're finally breaking out, and I'm going for it this year. I told you, worst to first. It's happening. I'm putting my name on that trophy. Now you can talk, I suppose.
I got to give you that one. I came in hot. I was ready to put the pedal down and came up short. Came up short that week. Came up short with my rebranding. Good news is I didn't come up short against Jay last week. So watching Travis now drop 2 in a row. One of them being to Ian was spectacular. Putting Jay down by 16 points was great. Teal the Love finally broke 100, but still went down to Elvon. Didn't have 3-1 Elvon on my 2025 season bingo card. But
I
here
didn't
we
have
are.
Elvon setting his lineup in 2025, but congrats to him if he ever listens to this podcast poolside.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just rolling past it. There's nothing I can say. I had big talk, and the team didn't show up, and here we are. Went and sold, mortgaged the entire future on this season. I wouldn't say it's scared. It's just hope for the best, prepare for the worst. You know what I mean? I banked those assets for a reason, and I went after it. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it means that me 1, you 2, Drews can have 3. That's fine.
Not after this week. Not after this week, Chad, because as everyone knows that's listening to this, we're already playing Thursday night, baby, while we're recording. It's not even halftime. Hold on. Let me go look at this. Christian McCaffrey, before there's still 6 minutes left. McCaffrey's already got 18 points. And Drew's, I'm sorry. What does Puka Nacua have? Ooh, 5. Just 5 points. So
and in his perfect continuing, like just the model of consistency, almost at halftime, Teal the Love, -1 point from Matthew Stafford.
Ooh.
The
Rams have not been putting on a
finally
good showing.
is able to get away from Love because he's on his bye week, and he goes, I'll go Stafford. It'll be great. 3 of 5, 24 yards, 1 fumble.
I'm missing out on Lamar this week, and I got Justin Fields. He was just sitting out there. He's playing against Dallas this week. I love it. I can't wait.
I bet Justin Fields can score 40 points in Dallas this week.
It looks like anyone can, and I'm saying that bashing the other team that just did it.
So speaking of last week, absolute barn burner. 80 points total, went into OT.
Mhm.
Great for fantasy viewers. I'll be honest, like a tie is like kissing your sister. I mean, especially being. I don't ever want to say anybody gets a win out of a tie, but for the Packers going after Micah Parsons, doing what they're doing, being the hot team, Cowboys still being questionable, it's an L for them when it comes
I,
to that tie. It's just
as a Packer fan, felt that was a loss. That was one of the worst like losing Mondays that I've had in a long time. I was in such a funk after that. We lost to the Cowboys. I don't care if it's a tie on the scoreboard, it's a loss because we talked so much shit. The Packers won the Super Bowl after 2 weeks, and we just can't do that. We heard I think it was Rashad Walker talking about this team can go 17-0. Well, not anymore, buddy. We lost to Cleveland, and now we can't fucking stop Dak Prescott and George Pickens. That's a problem. This team needs to figure out what they are. LaFleur needs to have some balls. Don't play not to lose, play to win. Rich Bisaccia probably should have been fired in Cleveland. We should have left him in Dallas. But at the same time, everyone's struggling on special teams right now. I shouldn't say everyone. A lot of teams are struggling on special teams, but ours is really bad. And I don't know. The Packers just need to figure out is this defense great? Is this defense cheese? We need to figure that out right now. I think Jordan Love looks great. He looks like he did 2 years ago. I think he's back to what he is. We might get Christian Watson back after this bye week. Golden isn't going to be this great number one that we all thought he was, but he's going to be a great piece, just like all the other guys are. So I'm not worried about the offense. I'm really worried about the defense. They need to show that they can actually do something. And yeah, this Packer team needs to decide if they want to actually compete or not.
For my team, I'm absolutely on the other side of things. After coming off 31-17 against the Steelers, we absolutely hammered a terrible Saints team into the ground. But that is what you have to do to bad teams, is beat them into the ground. So coming off the Saints game, pummel them into the ground, and then Thursday Night Football against a division rival, coming up 23-20, which was absolutely phenomenal. The most exciting thing for this weekend, besides going up against Baker Mayfield and probably taking home that W, is it's probably the just finest jersey matchup of all time, of history.
It's the best. I cannot wait. I just got a Mike Evans jersey in that white creamsicle. It's so nice. I love it so much. I can't wait for that matchup. You can almost call that the Carolina Panthers Bowl, because at one point in time, both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield were on the Carolina Panthers at the same time.
Yeah.
And they couldn't figure out the quarterback situation. Weird.
The crappy part about that is I know the Bills and the Pats are playing well. It's fine. So they're on Sunday Night Football this weekend. But they had the opportunity to flex that game to Sunday night because there's a Mariners game in Seattle at the same time. So they could have flexed that to an evening game. Don't get me wrong, the Patriots and the Bills are looking good, so it's not going to be a terrible game for Sunday night. But to have those jerseys and those teams that have been on a run to not be flexed into that kind of sucks. So it is what it is. Moving on with that. Matchups in league this week. I've got that dirty-ass Gorgonzola mac and cheese, 1-3, currently 38% chance of winning. So, Cole, you can take that one home. Ian and Elvon it looks like just barely cusping 100 points. Same thing goes for Teal, who's facing off against Kai Rimjob, who does not have a good outlook at 112 points. Love to see him drop to a losing record after this. Stumby, unfortunately, after having his best week that he's had all season at 134 points, still got beat down, sending him to the dismal 0-4 bottom.
Never a worry, never a doubt.
No, just keep that old man down in his grave. He faces off against Jenna the Hedgehog, so he'll actually have a chance to win this week because Jay sucks about as much as that skull chant is annoying. And then KO is slotted already pretty highly to take down. Festival has Rats. You and Drew's the two matchups at 3-1, and then I'm facing off against Crafty Yak and Cheese. So we're looking at two teams being 4-1 after this week. you, Drews, me. We'll see. It's probably going to be continuing to fight this way. Travis, you can't rim job that many teams and drop 2 in a row and expect to continue to stay in the conversation. That's just not happening. Do we have the chat? Can we pull up the chat? I'd love to just get some notes from Nick for this week.
I have mine if you want me to.
Yeah, absolutely. Dive into it.
All right. So after week 4, the power rankings, let Chef Cook, or now Cooked, as you aptly changed your name to. You're
Absolutely.
still you went down to 3, but you were down to 3. You're now up to 1. The Commish is back on top of the rankings, but let's be real. The name change is criminal. You don't let the chef cook when you're not a chef. You work at a grocery store. But anyway, the Jonathan Taylor mega trade where you mortgage half of your 2026 and 2027 draft board. Chad's cooking all right. He's making hamburger helper with water instead of milk. KO's keepers. Number 2, KO edges Stumby in a shootout at 140 to 134 and keeps pace at 3-1. PF total 512 shows that the team isn't just swinging blindly, they are connecting. Right now, KO is the bouncer at the league bar. Ugly, effective, and nobody wants to tangle with him. Love that. Festival has Rats at 3. The Rats are feasting after taking down Kraft, but the real story is a fleece of the year, Alvin Kamara, and a pile of picks in exchange for Jonathan Taylor. The Rats might not repeat this year, but the draft capital ensures they'll be crawling for the future. Kai Rimjob at number 4. Travis came crashing back down to earth after Panda dropped 142 on his head. Still has Pollard and CD after going all in, but a 500 record with a top 5 points for means the pressure is on. He might be remembered as the guy who traded away Marvin Harrison Jr. for nothing. And a surprise at that, Angry Black Man we talked about. Number 5, back-to-back gritty wins, now sitting at 3-1. Angry doesn't care how it looks, just that it's a W. Points for is 460, isn't scaring anyone, but this is the guy you hate to play because you'll get beat a 134 to 116 and feel stupid about it. That is true. As someone with one of those losses to him, it doesn't feel great. I can tell you that. Jay Jetta's at number 6. Jay ran into Chad's chef cosplay and got burned at 2-2 sitting mid-pack. This team feels like a Jetta with no turbo sticker. Needs a big week to prove he is not slipping. At number 7, showed MTDs. Finally cracked 140 in a statement win against Travis. Panda squad looks like a slot machine. Pull the lever. Sometimes it spits gold. Sometimes it takes your lunch money. Still a fraud until proven otherwise. Kraft mac and cheese, another week, another mid 100 point dud. Kraft is sitting at 1-3 with 428 points for, which is showing like a cookout, like showing up to a cookout, plain white bread and nothing else. Oh boy. Teal Love at 1-3, scored 116 with the which for Teal counts as fireworks. Points for is 383, still the league worst by miles at this point. Teal isn't teal at all. It's beige. It exists. No one cares or notices. And at number 10, we have Vintage Stumby Reserve. Scored a respectable 134. He had probably the best week that he'll have this year. But of course, still lost. Stumby is now in full tank commander mode after dealing Pollard and Lamb for Marvin Harrison Jr. and a mountain of picks. He's not even pretending anymore. Season's over. Call the 2026 draft. Is his Super Bowl. That's where we got.
Love the top shelf for show. Them TDs, bottom shelf, Stumby, Lucky SLB, Angry Black Man, dumpster fire of the week, Chad, for his dumb Let Chef Cook rebrand. Yeah, fair enough. We'll move on from that. Amy Hanton would disagree. She thought I was a chef when I was cooking. My buddy Pipatoniak, too. He would disagree. Like I said, looking forward to this week. A good slate of games for Sunday. Obviously, we got a decent game in the division of the Seahawks as well. Vikings and Browns. We'll see Minnesota get beat again by them. Raiders and Colts will be interesting to see what happens with Indiana Jones. Giants and the Saints, 2 shitty teams. If Dart's back from his concussion, hopefully he can put on another show. Cowboys and Jets will be interesting to see. Hopefully that Fields just feasts on them and makes the Packers look as bad as they are. Um, Denver Broncos, Philadelphia Eagles. Bo Nix keeps going. That Denver team looks pretty good, and the Eagles with that fake tush push the other week was impressive too. Because if you already can't beat what they are showing you, and then you can't beat what they're not showing you. Dolphins and the Panthers, that's just a cry for help. That game will be terrible. Same as Tennessee Titans and the Cardinals. Then we'll roll into an excellent 3:05 game with the Buccaneers and Seattle toss up there. I think the Hawks are going to come out just fine, but Mayfield has been playing like a man unhinged. And then for Sunday Night Football, the Pats and the Bills, two teams that rolled this last week. So hopefully that'll be another great showing. Nice slate this week with the Vikings and Browns on at 8:30. Drews will be able to be completely annihilated in nonverbal mode probably by 3 in the afternoon before the Hawks game even starts. So that's a great slate for him. And there will be something in the veins, somebody to keep the pulse going for old man Sunday for that Patriots and Bills game. So he'll be up for that, which is good. But he might have to take the morning off the next day for his IV tap and his black coffee, because that's what cool old people do. So, league in review. Yep. I thought I got spanked hard enough by you, but then I got spanked by Stumby in the league for an absolute abysmal rebrand. But we all remember IHOB when they were going to sell burgers. So, everybody makes mistakes, but I'll just keep slinging out winners after this, though.
At least that was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, that's true. Well, when your life's a joke, every day is April Fool's, so it's fun. KO short and sweet, man. I really don't have a lot to go off of for this week, unless you have some fun zingers or some things to tear people down about other than me.
Oh, I definitely have some closing remarks, but I also just wanted to mention too, like the injuries this year have been. It feels like we say this every year, but the injuries really have been pretty brutal already. You know, people like James Conner, Tyreek Hill, and Malik Neighbors already going down for the season. And I mean, you might count Joe Burrow in that by default. Then you would say, you know, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are not at their full value because of that. Like, there's so much that changes. This is week 5, and there's so much that changes. For you know, like the Quentin Johnston is now considered a wide receiver 1 in a lot of teams. Keenan Allen, same thing. That's why this game is so great, because there's so many things that can change. There's so many predictions that we can get wrong. The whole industry, no one had Quentin Johnston over Jamar Chase for the rest of the season, but right now that's a realistic possibility that you should be making that start-sit decision. And that's what makes this game so fun, is you call your shots. If you're right, you get a lot of glory, and if you're wrong, you get shit on by all your friends. And that's what I'm hoping to do the rest of this year, is just shit on every single one of you. I'm hoping to take down Ryan this week, because Drew's, let's be honest, he deserves it a little bit. There's a lot of shit talk. I know we need the shit talk in the group chat, but there's a lot of shit talk. So he definitely deserves for me to shut him up and put him at 3-1.
I, without a doubt, if Stumby picks up his first win this week and goes 1-4 and sends Jay to 2-3, Jay has to be on the show next week. Without a doubt.
Oh.
It has to be Jay.
It's
got to be. I would almost like to circle back and have Trav on again if he loses to Teal, but we're not going to do that. Honestly, if we're sitting talking, you, me, and Elvon at 4-1, I think that would be a great roundtable discussion of the top 3 teams in the league.
On the flip of that, Ian might be fun too if Elvon does go to 5 or 4-1. If he can't come on, Ian going down to 2-3 might be a good one as well.
Yeah, we'd hate to hedge all our bets for Elvon to be able to commit to an engagement. So even one
me and you have enough trouble doing it on our own.
We couldn't even get him to commit to a draft party that was planned 6 months in advance.
Yeah,
he ended up in the wrong state. So the right state of mind, the wrong state. But here we
Absolutely.
are. I mean, there's reasons that we have blue ribbons and red zones. You know, Scott Hansen, Chris Hansen. Doesn't matter. Bucks and 6.
Absolutely. Well, if that's all you have, that's all I have. Thank you, everyone. Sorry we missed last week, and sorry we're late this week. But hey, we're going to do this podcast as long as we can. So thank you all for listening. And we will talk to you next week.